Yo, what's up guys? In this video I'm going to be showing you some Slayer assignments and I'm going to be explaining why they're good to add to your prefer list. Players do Slayer mainly for two reasons: number one, XP, and number two, money, and different players will just have like different preferences on which Slayer tasks they prefer doing. So I'm not just going to be giving you a list that you should directly follow, because it all depends on what you like doing and what you want to get out of training Slayer. Now all the Slayer assignments in this video are either going to be assigned by Movran or Kurodel or both. If you don't know who those two are, those are the two highest Slayer masters. In order to use Kurodel you need 75 Slayer and 110 combat, and in order to use Movran you need 85 Slayer, 120 combat and access to Prif. Honestly, before you start using any of these Slayer masters, don't use up your points preferring or blocking any tasks. Either just save up your points or buy any of the other unlockable features, and then once you get to use Kurodel or Movran you'll be able to prefer or block tasks straight away. So let's begin with what is the best Slayer task in my opinion, and that is Rune Dragons. You can get assigned anywhere between 45 and 74 of these, and just for future reference, the assign amounts that I'm going to be showing you are just for Movran, because Movran and Kurodel assign a different amount for each Slayer monster, so I'm just going to go off of Movran because I'm assuming he's going to be the most popular one. And as you can see, the XP and GP that you're going to be getting from these guys are great. I usually get around 300k plus Slayer XP per hour and around 3 to 4 mil GP per task. And that's if I don't get any of the boot pieces. If I do get one of the boot pieces, then that's like what, an extra 23 mil on top of the original amount. There's just so much potential here to make such a great amount of money. And on top of that, like I said, they're just great XP as well. Now you do have to have completed the Ritual of the Mardrak quest and the Fate of the Gods quest in order to access them. And on top of that, in order to kill them, you're also going to need Dragonbane bolts. If you want to go kill them and you don't know how, I actually have a Rune Dragons guide out, so I'll leave a link to that in the description. And honestly guys, this Slayer assignment is literally the only one that I'd recommend definitely adding. It really doesn't even matter what you're slaying for, XP, GP, fun, whatever. Even if you're just into bossing, I mean one of the main reasons people boss is just to get that big money drop. And Rune Dragons definitely has that big money drop, and honestly the price of that drop is more than some of the other bosses. So yeah, like I said, this is definitely one of the ones that I recommend just adding to your prefer list no matter what. Next up we have Eretz and Movran assigned between 150 and 180 of them. The XP and GP that you get are pretty good. I'd say around 200k XP an hour and probably like 2 mil per task. The XP that you got from Eretz used to be a lot better when you used to cannon them on Mazcab, but recently Jagex fixed that and now you're not able to get those XP amounts anymore. Mainly because I heard that you just got wrecked there now, so you're not able to like sustain. So it turns out that now you're just gonna have to kill Eretz normally. So nonetheless, it's still good XP and good GP, so I'd still recommend adding it to your prefer list. Abyssal Demons are a great Slayer task for XP, and they're also quite AFK as well. You can get assigned anywhere between 180 and 300 of them, and the way to do this effectively is to kill them in the Slayer Tower in Canifis. You just gotta go all the way to the very top, and I'd recommend using melee for this, and make sure you're using a weapon that can use Hurricane and Quake, because what you want to do is just pop an aggression potion and stand where I'm standing now, and just wait for all the Abyssal Demons to come to you. And then doing this, if you have a decent armor and weapon, you should expect to get more than 300k Slayer XP per hour. Also on the slide I did say that the GP per hour was either bad or fair. It all depends on whether or not you decide to pick up stuff. If you do decide to pick up stuff, then the XP per hour will go down, because obviously you're going to be spending time trying to pick up the stuff that you want. However, if you just leave it on the ground, then obviously you're not going to be getting anything out of it, so the GP is bad. A similar Slayer assignment to these are NECHRYAELs, and Movran assigns between 170 and 265 of them. Now you do these in more or less the exact same place. You just go up to the second floor and the NECHRYAELs are going to be there. Just pop an aggression potion and stand where I'm standing, and then they should all come to you. Just make sure, like Abyssal Demons, you're using a 200 weapon so you can use Quake and Hurricane, and then you should just kill them all fairly quickly, and you should get around 220k Slayer XP per hour. So it's definitely going to be less than Abyssal Demons, but I mean this is another one if you just want to sit there and AFK whilst you watch something in the background. And once again, the drops are either bad or good depending on whether or not you decide to pick them up, so it's up to you on what you want to do there. GANODERMIC beasts are a great Slayer task if you want to get XP, and they're also decent for GP as well. You can get assigned between 85 and 110 of them from Movran, and you need 95 Slayer and 60 Magic in order to get assigned them. Now these are located in the Polypore dungeon, and it's highly recommended that you use fire spells here, and these give XP rates of up to 350k Slayer XP an hour. On top of that, they also give you over 500k magic XP an hour, so there's nothing to complain about there. And as for the items, the GANODERMIC beasts just drop a bunch of seeds and GANODERMIC flakes. so that's where the majority of the money is going to be coming from, so I recommend just picking everything up. It will all just add up eventually. Honestly, this is a pretty close second with Rune Dragons for like the best Slayer task out there. The XP that you can get here is just insane. Like I said, 350k Slayer XP an hour. If you take a look at the clip now, you'll see me slowly reaching 1 mil total XP an hour, and that is just mad. These and Abyssal Demons are probably the best for just overall XP gained, so if you're looking to get XP, then these Rune Dragons and Abyssal Demons should be at the top of your list. Now moving on to one of my favourite tasks, and a pretty underrated one to be honest, and that is elves. You can get assigned anywhere between 150 and 180 of these elves, and the XP that you can get from them is pretty damn good if you're killing them the way that I kill them. I typically get around 250k plus Slayer XP an hour, and the GP per task is around 1 to 1.5 mil, but you complete a task in like 20 minutes, so in reality it's around 3 to 4 mil an hour, so it's pretty good. The way that I kill these elves is I just lure like 4 of them to this spot here, and then I just pop an aggression potion and then just kill them whenever they come up. They all spawn wherever you last killed them, so they're all going to be on like the same spot, so you can just like Quake and Hurricane them down, and you could just use Soul Split to get your HP back, or you can just use a Protect Curse. Also just make sure your area looting is on, because that makes it a lot faster to loot. Another amazing task that I just completely forgot to mention until now are Dark Beasts. You can get assigned anywhere between 180 and 300 of them, and the XP and GP that you get here is great. You should expect to get upwards of 300k plus Slayer XP an hour when doing this, and from my experience you should get around 2 mil an hour as well. Now you want to be killing the Dark Beasts in the Mono tunnels, which is located in West Ardown, and also you want to bring a cannon and some cannonballs with you. Then what you want to do is you just want to set up your cannon and then just fire away and start killing them. It's pretty much as simple as that, and doing this will get you a shit ton of XP. This is a task that is definitely up there with Rune Dragons, Ganodermic Beasts, and Abyssal Demons, so if you prefer the other three, then you might as well prefer this one as well, unless you don't like using a cannon. Now the final two normal tasks that I'm going to be showing you, I haven't actually done myself. I've only done research on them, and I'm going off stuff that I've heard from other people. The first one is Celestial Dragons. I've heard the XP is around 200k an hour and the GP is around 2 mil an hour, so in both cases the XP and GP are pretty good. In order to get a Celestial Dragons task, you need to have completed the One of a Kind quest, and I haven't completed that quest, so that's why I have no experience with them. I really have to get that done soon, because I know this is a pretty good task, so if I were you, I'd try it out for yourself and check out if you like it or not. The last normal task is EDDIMUs, and you need 115 Dungeoneering to access EDDIMUs, so that is a pretty hefty requirement. You can get assigned between 170 and 265 EDDIMUs, and I've heard that the XP is good and the GP is even greater. I've heard you can get like 200k Slayer XP an hour, and you also get a lot of GP depending on how many crystal items that you get. On top of that, they also have a pretty big drop, and that is the Blood Necklace Shard, which is worth around 5.5 mil at the moment. So if you end up getting one of those, which has a drop rate of around 1 in 500, that will be a big boost to your GP an hour. Once again, just like the Celestial Dragons, just check them out for yourself if you have the requirements to do so, because I obviously can't give my personal opinion because I haven't tried them out before. Now if you're a big bossing fan, then you can use some of the Slayer assignments that you get in order to boss. For example, when you get assigned AVIANSIES, you can go kill KALPHITES. You can get assigned between 150 and 195 of them, and the XP that you can get there is pretty good. It's around like 220k Slayer XP an hour, and obviously on top of that you're going to be getting good GP as well. I'd say that's between like 2 to 3 mil an hour depending on how lucky you are. Also, you got to remember that his minions also count as AVIANSIES, so you'll be getting Slayer XP from them whenever you kill them. When you get assigned Black Dragons, you can go kill the Queen Black Dragon. With these you can get assigned anywhere between 50 and 125. The XP is not going to be very good because you're not going to be killing that many of her per hour. If you're an experienced QBD killer, then you'll be getting like what, 25 to 30 kills per hour. However, the money that you're going to be getting from this is going to be great. It's going to be like 5 mil plus, and if you get assigned the max amount that you can get assigned, then that's a good 5 hours. If you get assigned DAGGANOTHS, you can go to the DAGGANOTHS Kings, and you can get assigned anywhere between 205 and 290 of these. The XP that you can get is pretty decent. I think it's like 120k Slayer XP an hour, and the GP an hour last time I checked was around 2 mil an hour. So yeah, if you're a fan of bossing, then just go to the DKs instead of like cannoning them in the lighthouse like me. I just cannon them in the lighthouse just because I really don't like going to DKs. And if you prefer this task, I think you'll actually get DAGGANOTHS like quite frequently. If you get assigned KALPHITES, you can either go to the KALPHITE King or the KALPHITE Queen. Just like the QBD, you're not going to be killing that many of them per hour, so the XP isn't going to be that great. However, and this mainly goes for the Kalphite King, the GP per hour all depends on how lucky you are. Obviously in 1 hour you can get like 2 to 3 Drago pieces if you're insanely lucky, and that will mean your GP per hour is just great rather than good. But if you only get normal drops, then it's just going to be pretty decent anyway. If you get assigned greater demons, you can go to Krill, and you can get assigned anywhere between 180 and 300 of these. It's going to be more or less the same as what Kriara is, and once again his minions do count as greater demons as well, so you'll be gaining Slayer XP from them too. And finally, when you get assigned Ascension members, you can go kill Legios, which are like the Ascension members bosses. You can get assigned anywhere between 120 and 150 of these. You're not going to be getting that great XP because you're not going to be killing that many an hour, and the GP that you're going to be getting here is either bad or like bare minimum. I really wouldn't recommend doing these unless you really want to try and get an Ascension weapon. The majority of the time on every single kill you're going to be losing money because you have to pay that key just to fight the guy. So unless you get a Serenic Scale or another key as a drop or one of the rings, then you're not going to be making money back. And I think the drop rate in rings is like 1 in 50. So I guess eventually if you do kill them quite frequently, then you'll be able to make an Ascension weapon. But anyway guys, that is the end of the video. Remember, what you add to your prefer list all depends on what you want to do and what you want to get out of Slayer. The main purpose of this video was to try and give you the information required in order to make that decision. So hopefully I did a good job, and now you know which ones that you want to aim for. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video, subscribe if you're new, and peace!